What's going on, everyone? Ed Stojanovich with the Stojo Zone, and I am here with one of my really good friends, Kris Williams, and we are going to be talking about a special event that is called Crown Rally. Stay tuned. So, what's going on, Kris? How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
I am good. I am excited. This Crown Rally event that is coming up next month that you graciously invited me to. I'm pretty excited about it. I want to be able to tell everybody else that. So last year you told me about Crown Rally. Had no idea about it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything like that. I now own a shirt that says Crown Rally, courtesy of Kris. So it's awesome, but now I get a chance to experience it. Tell me a little bit about it. Like, what is it? How did you find out about it? What's the cause? And let's kind of chat from there.
All right. So I found out about Crown Rally about 4 or 5 years ago. I actually found it on Reddit. Go closer.
Yeah.
I actually found it on Reddit. I was just on the cars subreddit, and I was trying to find something that I could do because cars have been such a great, outlet for me. It's like my passion.
So you found something on Reddit that was actually worthwhile?
I love Reddit.
I do too, but it's
most of it's shit posting. But this wasn't. Somebody was talking about, it was either the gumball, or it was one of the more expensive rallies. I believe it was like $25,000 as an entry fee.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, I'll never be able to do that. And I was reading through the comments, and somebody was like, man, I really love to do something like this, but I don't want to spend that much money. And somebody said, well, hey, there's a smaller one. It's called Crown Rally, and the entry fee is a little bit more manageable. So I looked into it. At the time, I had a red 2017 Ford Mustang that I had modified, so it was pushing like over 500 horsepower. I was like, I could do this.
Was that the first Crown Rally you did was with the Mustang?
No, I signed up for it. I got accepted, and then it fell on the exact same date as Haley's first day of school. So I was like, I can't do it. It pushed me to the next year, and the guy was like, yeah, no problem, man. We'll get you all set up. Just on a separate note, as I've been talking about the people of Crown Rally, they are world-class, like amazing humans, so helpful.
Yeah.
And anytime I talk with them, it's a good experience. So,
which is awesome considering the amount of planning. And I mean, this is no joke. Like,
I'll get into how crazy it was. So I ended up canceling on, I forget what year that was, 2019, I believe. And so I was like, just keep me on the docket for next year. Yeah. Send me the invite, because I'm going to definitely do it. I ended up working super, super hard, and I traded my Mustang in for a 2016 Nissan GTR.
Not the 86 Pinto?
No, I kept that as a daily. For a very long time, I did drive that Focus just to annoy people, and I hated that car.
Didn't it piss Kevin off?
Yeah, Kevin hated that car. I hit a deer in that car, and the deer didn't even have the decency to die. I hit it so hard, it shattered the front bumper, pooped all over the front side of the car, all the way to the back.
Yeah.
Got up and scampered off.
Hey, great. Now PETA's out in front of my house protesting.
I didn't kill the thing. It ran off. I was like, man, I hope that wasn't a human, but I'm pretty sure it was a deer. But so I got this GTR. I was so excited. I actually didn't tell anybody about it, because I'm usually very conscious of world events, and I don't like bragging about myself. And right when I got it, the week after, COVID hit. So people are losing their jobs.
Yep.
Everything's happening. The Crown Rally actually gets pushed back. It was, I believe, in August. Yeah. They pushed it back to October. And I was like, man.
Because the beginning of 20 would have been West, right? Because they have...
Yes, but they weren't doing West. West is a new event that they just started last year.
Oh, okay.
So it was just North and South. And so I was signed up for South, which is from Chicago to Atlanta.
Yep.
Over about 4 days. This year it actually extends to 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 6 if you count like the pre-party.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody I got this car. I sat on it in my garage. I drove it.
Yeah, you're good. Yep.
Oh, okay. And so I was super worried about it. So I finally let kind of the cat out of the bag and said, hey, I got this car. This is what I'm doing. I didn't know what to expect. And they pushed it to October. COVID was rampant. This was like really, really bad. But the amount of planning that they had to do to push this event from August to October is one of the most amazing things I've ever been a part of.
It sounds insane.
Because it was 125 supercars. 125.
Yeah.
That's 2 drivers per car.
Yeah.
So 250 people. Then you have all the organizers. You have all the volunteers. You have city ordinances because you have to go to a designated starting spot. We have police escorts out of every single town.
Yep.
And they had to coordinate all this and push it back for COVID. And just that undertaking would have made me want to lose my mind, but they handled it so unbelievably well, so professional.
Not to mention the crews that they have for video. And
yep.
I mean, so when you first introduced me to this and you're like, dude, you got to check this out. It's a full-on production.
It's a production.
Yeah. Like this, it's insane. Like, and you'll see, they'll give you some like highlights, like a 2-minute, 3-minute video highlight. And then they have it broken out into series. And, you know, it's not easy to sit down and watch YouTube for like 25 minutes for a video, but you can watch this and just see how, I mean, everything that they do and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine the setting everything aside and just kind of moving it back a week, let alone months that's a huge accomplishment.
It's a huge endeavor just to get it going, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But to move it back and making sure everybody's still happy, everybody still wants to go, everybody's having a great time, I couldn't fathom what had to happen. But the week, and we'll actually be getting this box soon. You'll get a box with all your credentials in it. It has your shirt. It has your little ID card.
Retina scanners?
Retina scanners.
Okay, yep.
Sperm cup donations. So
that's on the house.
Yeah. So you get this box, and inside the box, after I took everything out, it has masks.
Okay.
COVID, for the COVID stuff. I mean, it had Crown Rally embroidered on it, and you would just take this mask with you on the Crown Rally. Every single event you went to that day, if the city was still requiring masks, you were already covered.
Just abide by it. Yep.
You had a nice mask. I mean, they thought of everything.
That's awesome.
It's just incredible. So October rolls around.
Probably wouldn't be cool pulling up in a supercar and then having one of those like $1 faded balloons.
Yeah, the one that somebody's used 20 times and it's like it's all pilling, you know.
Frizzy.
Yeah, it's all frizzy.
Well, you can see the fibers.
Yeah, and so I really didn't know what to expect. So it was actually supposed to be in downtown Chicago. They moved it to a little bit out, and I'm kind of driving up there, and I haven't really seen anybody. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing other supercars.
Yeah,
and we pull in, and there's just a line of really expensive cars. And this, I was blessed. I had never thought I'd actually see one of these in person. It was a GT40. It was a reproduction of the 65, exact to how it was back in 65, 66.
Yeah.
And they had 2 of them that were going to be on the rally with us.
Wow.
So we were able to cruise with these things. But
were they souped up too?
Yeah, I mean, as souped up as a race car.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But we pull in, there's cars everywhere, music blasting. They have a DJ that kind of follows you around in tents and stuff. It sounds like a Need for Speed like event. Like it's so all these cars start rolling around.
Crown Rally, the video game, coming November 22.
It feels almost like you're in a real life video game. So we're pulling in. People are just out. Everybody's talking. It's a morning. It's kind of chilly. It's October. The cars are lining up. You're kind of just at that point taking it all in.
Yeah.
And you're just enjoying the moment. All these cars are arriving, cars that I've never seen before. I mean, you got R8s, you got Lamborghinis, you got McLarens, which I had never seen a McLaren up close until my first rally.
Yeah.
And McLarens are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mercedes, I mean, other GTRs and BMWs. And then there's also, a couple of Mustangs, a couple of Challengers.
Yeah. See, Corvettes too, right?
Corvettes, lots of Corvettes. The first C8 I ever saw was on that 2020 rally, and he was another realtor.
So, okay, nice.
So I had to throw some shade at him, but
I'll smoke you right now.
But these cars are coming, and they are so loud. They are shaking. We're up with their skyscrapers on both sides of a large building. I wouldn't say skyscrapers, large buildings on both sides.
Yeah.
They're coming in, just shaking the windows because they're so loud. And everybody's revving. Everybody's like having a good time.
I couldn't imagine 125 cars with that type of power and like the way the motors and the exhausts and everything like that. Yeah. Like it's loud for one.
Yeah.
It's loud for 5. 125.
Yeah. And you're just, and all of them are done up. All of them, when you sign up for Crown Rally, you get a livery kit.
Yeah.
And so it comes with several different options. You can get a custom wrap if you want, which is what I did this year.
Yeah.
But that year I didn't know what to expect. So I just did their standard. I'm a very, very big fan of race car numbers and race car livery. So I had the giant numbers on my car. I got 47. And so that's the number I've stuck with every single rally since. And these cars are rolling up full wraps. They're rolling in with their livery kits.
Yeah.
So it's just, it feels like you're in something special, something exciting.
This is about to go down.
This is like, and for me, for my life, I have really felt like I never really fit in anywhere. I would feel like if I was doing something with somebody else, this is what they like to do, and that's great. And that maybe I'm into it, maybe about 80%, maybe 75%. You know, I mean, you're never going to be fully into somebody else's thing. You're really going to enjoy it, have a great time, but it might not be 100%.
Yeah.
When I got there, I have never felt more 100% about something.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I've never felt like I belonged anywhere until I started doing this.
Well, you even mentioned before, it's kind of almost like a brotherhood. Like these are people
family.
that,
it's just the people that you are going to meet are some of the best humans, some of the most kind humans. When a car breaks down or has issues, everybody's pulling off to see how they are, check on them, get them back on the road.
They're not drifting and kicking rocks at you and loser.
You know, and you'll see there's a lot of people that have been doing this for a long time, have made relationships, and they'll be fucking with each other as they go along. Like at the end of the day, they'll like shoot a confetti thing inside their car, or they'll do anything to kind of just get a laugh, and it's all harmless fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just some of these people, the only time they interact is on rallies, you know?
Yeah.
What's up, man? So you never really see that kind of stuff.
Oh, big time.
So, I mean, I really started like feeling like this is where I belong. This is the kind of stuff that I want to do, and get involved with. Because the first time I did it, I didn't really know about the Rally for a Cause Foundation. I really didn't know about what I was getting involved in, what kind of people I would be interacting with.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And so once we get there, everybody kind of shuts down their cars. Everybody's kind of just talking, and then the organizers get up and any interaction I've had with the organizers has been incredible. I mean, there's Tom and Dan Busen, which you'll meet them.
Yeah.
Brad.
They're the ones that are they the ones that founded it?
So it was a combination. I believe Justin Brower, who is also in charge of the Rally for a Cause Foundation, and then I don't know, because it's very hard when you go to the website. There's not like an about us, like how it started or anything.
Yeah.
So I've had to gather kind of bits and pieces over the years of like how the first one was.
Yeah.
And the first one seemed completely different than it was started up in Minnesota. And it was like 10 cars.
Yeah.
And they made no money. And it was just like people would come and then they donate money to the Rally for a Cause Foundation. And then they were kind of just driving about, and then it just kind of kept getting bigger. Like I want to say the first time they did it was not a lot of cars. And then all of a sudden it's 125 per, and there's 3 of them each year across the country.
Now, so it was 125 cars. Didn't you say they've almost had to scale it back a little bit?
They scaled it, so the one we're doing is going to be 100.
Okay.
I don't know if the bigger rally, I mean, there's the north is up north in Michigan and Minnesota. I don't know if that one's going to have 100 or less or more or what. I just know as we go. But that one I did was 125, and I think they kind of realized that's a lot of cars.
Yeah.
So this one's 100. I would assume the other ones are going to be 100.
Yeah.
But I really don't know.
Yeah.
But so we're all just sitting there. The owners come up, or the organizers come up, and they tell us about the Rally for a Cause Foundation. which is a foundation that they started.
Yeah.
And they go over, what it's for. And it's just donations to Shriners Children's Hospital. There's more for Here's for Cheers, which is for hearing aids for children.
Yeah.
There's so many different...
it's child-based, basically, charities and stuff like that.
Yep. And the finish line actually finishes at a Shriners Children's Hospital. So all the cars park there, and then all the kids can come out, sit in the cars, talk to all the people.
How cool is that?
It's such a good feeling. But they started it back in 2016, and this is how much they've raised each year. So in 2016 was 39,000, then 52,000, then 77,000, then 104,000, 189,000, and then last year was 292,000. So
wow,
we're almost up to $1 million. And last year we started doing.
That isn't a drop in a bucket.
No,
that's a significant amount of money.
A portion of each entry fee goes towards the foundation.
Yep.
So each entrant actually can say, hey, I helped, I donated to that. But they also let every single team fundraise.
Okay.
And we did a little bit of that last year. I think we raised about $2,000, which I was pretty happy with.
Yeah.
I feel like we could do better. And then, it's just an amazing foundation. It's just incredible how they've kind of taken their love for cars and turned it into this thing that is also helping a lot of children across the country. So
yeah,
very excited about being a part of that.
Now you even said so two things. The founders, the ones that talk about it, do they also participate in it?
So Justin had a Lamborghini, and he was riding with us last year a bit.
Okay.
I know that they go scouting. And so they go fly across the country and find the best routes for us.
Wow.
And so I don't know if they actually participate those days. They go from city to city, and they always arrive before us. They're always there after we leave, and then they somehow beat us to the next place. So I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have some sort of time travel device, but
time travel for sure. Yeah.
But I don't know. Last time at the track event, I saw one of the organizers had his Lotus there. But I don't know if he drove that the rest of the way or what he did.
So you said they sometimes they go out throughout the year and they go scouting to find different places, launches, whatever, different routes. Is the route specific? So are you okay? So say so on this one, we start in Denver, and then we end in Beaver Creek, right?
Yeah.
Is the route? This is the route you take there. Or do you vary from that route? Or is it just like, hey, this is where we end up. This is how you get there.
So at every launch, there's going to be a placard on the car. It's this little plastic thing with a QR code.
Okay.
It gives you a little kind of graphic where you're going to be going.
Yep.
You scan it, puts it into your phone GPS. This is where you're going.
Oh, my God.
So awesome. It's all laid out. It tells you exactly where to go. And I'm telling you, every single detail is professionally precision. Like every single thing that you could think of, they have already thought of. That's to make sure that you're going there to have a good time, to drive, to not have to worry about getting lost. They're ready to go.
They want you to have a good time just as much as they do.
Yeah.
Because this is for a good cause and without the additional stress. I feel like this is a release probably for a lot of people, right? From their everyday grind. It's like, okay, great. I'm gone for a week. This is going to be awesome.
I kind of joke around because there's Everyday Kris, there's Managing Broker Kris, there's Once Upon a Child Kris, there's Dad Kris, there's all these different Krises, and then there's Rally Kris.
There's Macho Man Kris.
There's Rally Kris, and when Rally Kris is coming out, those other Krises are gone.
Like, who dis new Kris?
When I'm out on a rally, I am a different person because I'm so invested in the event and making sure that I'm meeting the right people, having a good time. I'm driving, which is my favorite thing to do.
Yep.
I'm in exotic locations, mountains, and at these hotels that I didn't even know existed, in cities I didn't even know exist.
Yeah.
And I'm having this event with people that I have a good time with, people that I bring with.
Yeah.
And it's a different almost atmosphere. It's a different kind of personality. It's a different kind of experience. Like, it's just incredible.
I think that's awesome because even some of the snaps that you sent last year, I was just like, Denise, holy shit, look at this. Like, this is crazy. Look at the hotel they're at. Look at all these cars that they're at. Look at here. Oh, Like he's standing next to this Ferrari, just hanging out, and like there's different cars. It seems like you're getting, like how you said it's a family. You're getting the rich family members, and you're getting the family members that are the everyday blue collar workers. I mean, you are seeing people literally from every walk of life. But you know, black, orange, green, purple, blue, you name it, every ethnicity, everything, and all under one roof to supply donations and to get together to have fun. And it's more than just having fun; it's for a cause.
For a cause, and you'll experience this too. Every single stop, we have a lunch stop in the middle of the day at some crazy, like fancy location. That's the food's incredible.
Yeah.
Every night's a party.
Yep.
It's all catered. It's all set up. You don't have to bring like extra cash for things. I mean, you'll obviously want to tip people.
Yeah.
But it's just the amount of planning that these guys put into this and haven't lost their minds.
Yeah.
And they're all still, married or whatever. Like it just blows my mind.
They're not divorced yet.
Yeah, they're not divorced. And just how nice everybody is. Not just the organizers, all the people that you come into contact with.
Yeah.
A lot of people are around here that I didn't even know, and they lived 10 minutes from me. And so we've all gotten lunch. We've all hung out. We've all, text and joke around and hang out. And it's people that I didn't even know existed. And they live 5-10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And I think there's about 10 of us.
So that's cool. And so and even expand on that, not only is there people that live close to you 5-10 minutes from your house, but this is a national event. People from everywhere.
Other countries.
Oh, this is other countries too? That I did not know.
Yeah, people have come from other countries to participate.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever do a crown rally overseas. I mean, that'd be
insane.
Epic. But it's just
Crown Rally Gran Turismo.
Yeah. And the people that you meet, and it's also almost like a networking thing. Like I've met real estate agents that are down in Florida. I've met real estate agents that are across the country. I've met people that do a variety of things.
Yep.
One guy was there. He owned a company that went and scraped dead animals off the curb, and he had made a business out of it, like a huge successful business out of it.
Yeah.
And so you meet people that do jobs you didn't even know exist.
Yeah.
And so it's just such a great opportunity to meet so many people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And to add on that, it's crazy because when you're talking to these people, you're like, I didn't even know that was a career. Yeah. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
All right. So your first one was which one?
It was Crown Rally South in 2020.
And where was launch at?
Launch was in Chicago, just outside Chicago.
Okay.
I forget where the actual designation of the town was. Yeah. But we were all sitting there. They give you that kind of, all right, we're going to start our engines. Everybody get to your car. You get on your car. Everybody starts their engine at the same time. So you have this
scatters like ants, dude.
Yeah, you have this glorious sound of V8s, V12s, V10s, twin turbo this, twin turbo that.
Is there a conductor that's like...
Yeah, just pops and crackles, and everybody's revving, and everybody has those smoke bombs. Yes. And so there's people, and the first one, I was surprised that there were actually like spectators, but there were spectators that kind of came out, and then they were just like looking, seeing what's going on. The cars have these...
smoke sticks, yes.
Smoke sticks. Yes. They're just everywhere, various colors. Everybody, they line you up, and then you have a police escort from Chicago all the way to the Indiana border.
Yeah.
A single line.
That's a pretty substantial distance as well, for sure.
A straight line of 125 supercars. Mm-hmm. Cops flying down next to us on their motorcycles.
They got to love it, though. Those cops have to love this.
I think they were. They were stopping all the on-ramps. The road was clear, absolutely clear. Most of the people that we passed that were stuck in the on-ramp were cool with it. They were taking pictures and thought it was really cool.
I would have been one of those people. I would have been like, this is great. However,
there was one guy.
I know this was coming.
There was one guy that we drove by, hand extended as far as it could get, middle finger right at us. He didn't move. He didn't shake it about.
Yeah.
It was just a fuck you.
Real stiff
out there. Just the entire line he was there. So let me take a drink of this Coke.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, Stojo Zone now sponsored by Coca-Cola. You know, hey, thanks for bringing in your Coca-Cola sponsorship. So thank you, Kris.
Oh, so Crown Rally is sponsored by Red Bull.
Are they really?
You get a Red Bull every morning.
That's awesome. Well, and the cool thing too is with them sponsored by Red Bull, I'm sure that you'll get there'll be some Red Bull footage. I'll tell you what. So that so you know I'm into drones. Drones is like my thing. I like the GoPros. I like all that stuff. Looking at the production and seeing how they do things, and you're saying some of those film crew, they're like dangling out the window to get the shot. You know,
they're incredible. Golden Peaks Production is one of the main photographers and filmers.
Yeah,
and they drive around in BMWs that I'm guessing are pretty souped up. But they have cranes on the back of them. Cranes, so it's
crazy.
Cameras on the back of them. There's other
camera, probably about $5-6 cameras tops.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's it.
There's a couple other photographers, 3 or 4. There's Alex Bullis, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the other ones.
Yeah,
but they are legitimately crazy. They love their job, and it shows. But they will hang out the car, motion for you to come up to them, so you'll be like a foot away from the car in front of you to get the picture, get the shot.
That's unreal.
Unbelievable. They're hanging out. They'll be leaning out of the car like 6 inches from the ground, taking a picture, and then they'll be like waving their hand and you go.
Yeah.
And so they bring the next people up and then they get their picture. And these guys, I don't know how they do it either.
Yeah.
They're always in front of me. I don't know how they do it. I'm driving a little over the speed limit, but they're always in front of me. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many crews there are, but it's incredible. They do an amazing job, and they'll give you some pictures at the end.
Speaking of which, that photo of your GTR that they took looks like it is out of a video game.
That was the Vantage.
Yeah.
That was the Aston Martin.
Oh, that was the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That one looks like
it doesn't even look real. People
it looks fake.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're like, it looks like, is that from a video game? I'm like, no, these guys are just that good.
Yeah,
and it's an incredible shot. And I think I have it in my house, just hanging around like 3 times. Like I think I even have a Christmas ornament with it on it, and it's just there, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But the first one we did.
Yep.
So we're about to get to the Indiana border. All the cops pull off, line up their bikes, and then they wave.
Have a good time. Be safe.
Have a good time. Be safe.
Yeah.
And we did. I don't think I have ever made it from the Indiana border to Indianapolis. It was just outside Indianapolis. The lunch stop was a winery.
Yeah.
I do not believe I've ever made it that fast. I felt like I went back in time. I was going.
I got there a half hour in the past. Like that's
pretty much. But you're just driving. There's cars you've never seen before.
Yeah.
They're all exploding. They've all been tuned to like have this like, and you get turbo whistles. You're getting pops and bangs, and man, it's hard to just describe how the feeling is. If you're not a really big car lover, it's a little different because to me, like trying to describe it is very difficult because I love cars so much and what they mean to me and the sounds that they make. I know what that sounds like in my head, but if you don't know, and you don't know what I mean by like a pop and a crackle and a bang and the turbo whistles and stuff like that.
People are listening. That thing needs a tune-up.
Yeah, they're like, that thing sounds like shit. I actually got somebody complained in my neighborhood about some car. It wasn't mine.
Some car.
Quote,
some car.
Some car that was making backfire noises.
Yeah.
And they're like, I hate it. I can't believe somebody spends their money to do that. And I'm thinking in my head, my car does that from factory. Like I can't even turn it off.
Yeah.
But they don't get it. So we stopped at this winery and, we get out, we get our masks. All the cars are parked in around it. It's this like super, super like rustic looking winery.
Yeah.
And it's catered food. You're walking in. It's, they got the dangling lights. They got everything. And it's just such a good experience.
Yeah.
And then you sit wherever you want, start talking with whoever you want, strike up a conversation with people that are there, but you've never met them before. And then they are like your buddy for the rest of the trip.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you said that they even do like the walkie-talkie type of thing, right?
So yeah, there's an app that we use that, everybody is kind of communicating on there. If somebody needs help, they're telling, this is where we're at. If anybody has a jack, please, show up. We're telling everybody, if there's any hazards.
Yeah.
One of the days we had just a truck that was angry, and he was pulling out in front of the cars, or he's driving slow, or he's trying to back us up. And so we had to warn the people that were behind us, hey, watch out for this guy. There was some woman on some mountain road that was just throwing sticks and rocks into the road. And we're like, hey, watch out. There's this lady that we don't know what she's doing, but she's throwing stuff out there. You got to watch out for her. So there's a lot of communication that goes. And that is actually what your job is going to be. You are going to be the person that's going to be on the app talking to people, because I won't be able to because I'm not driving.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your job.
So I accept that full responsibility. Do I get a medal for it?
You get nothing.
You get nothing.
You get nothing.
You just sit there and shut up.
You get nothing and you like it. And so, like, at first you're like intimidated, like, oh, what should I say? Like, but then you're like, people are having a good time on that thing. Like, they're joking, and then you're just going. You're just having a good time.
Yeah.
And so after that, I mean, you go drive some more. You're probably driving about 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
You're going on these roads you're not on highways. That's not what you're doing. You're having on these back roads with curves and turns and mountains and elevation changes.
Yeah.
And, really, really good scenery, because when we went, it was fall.
Yep.
So all the colors are changing. It's beautiful. It's just, you're kind of in Nashville. You're in South Carolina.
Yeah.
You're seeing all.
And we're still talking about Crown South.
Crown South, the first one I ever did.
Yep.
And so, I forget. Oh, we stopped in Columbus the first night.
Okay.
I think it was Columbus. And 5-star hotel, catered food. The environment, it was an old bank or something, I think. And they had changed it in the hotel to be this giant, like, what is it called when you have like an event? Like a hall.
Yeah.
Something like that. Big screen set up. The DJ's there. They're going over. They got awards. They got trophies.
It's crazy.
It's just such an event. Really, they think of everything.
And the fact that they can, the fact that not only do they pull this off, but they pull this off in different time zones, different cities.
They had switched the city. They had switched the city from August to October when we actually went. They had switched the city.
Yeah.
And also, at every single hotel that we stay at, there is a parking garage. Okay, we take it over. I mean, they funnel us in. We have our own floor, security every night to protect the cars, and then there's like a DJ going. It's like a Fast and Furious meet. Like it's something you would see out of a Fast and Furious movie.
So, I got to ask you something, Chris.
Yeah.
When you pull up to those things and you introduce yourself to everybody, do you tell everybody, I live my life a quarter mile at a time?
100%. 100%.
Vin Williams.
Yeah. Vin Flex Fuel.
Yeah.
So the time we ended up in Nashville, I think that was the second night. They rented out a floor at the Crazy Horse, I think it's called.
Okay.
It's like a 3-story bar.
Is that the white
Wild
bar?
Horse. Wild Horse.
Is that white bar that's kind of in the front of the strip?
I don't see color. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's a 3-story. It's a 3-story bar, like a dance bar.
Yeah.
It gets kind of funny actually, because it was the height of COVID.
Okay.
Nashville banned dancing that year. It was like Footloose. You couldn't dance.
So you can go there.
But you can't dance. They were actually telling, like, I saw a woman start dancing, and they were like, cut that out. Sit down. Like, you couldn't dance. Okay. So we show up. The GT40 that I was talking about earlier is actually parked out in front of this place.
Okay.
There's a crowd. They're like taking pictures. We get in.
Yeah.
We eat. We're just hanging out. The food's amazing. And we're just kind of up there watching. It's actually in the video that I showed you.
Okay.
There's a woman singing on stage. That was in Nashville. That was
yes.
Yes. We're up on the 3rd floor. We look down. It's a huge dance floor, okay? But it's sectioned off, like almost like a checkerboard. They say, hey, who wants to learn how to line dance? And they invite all the people in. They're each in a box. And they're like, you cannot interact with the person next to you. We're going to tell you what to do, and then you're going to get out. So the lady starts doing like the dance and tells you how to do it, but you're in this square, like a 5x5 square. You can't get in close to anybody that's near you. And then when they're done, they're like, all right, everybody shuffle out. No dancing.
Nashville, North Korea sounds great.
It was so crazy. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And it was just such a, it was still so fun.
Yeah.
And so then from there, we did Tail of the Dragon. And what's the other one? Devil's Triangle.
Okay, and is that South Carolina or is that Tennessee?
It's around there. I don't know which it is, but Tail of the Dragon was pretty crazy. They have this big tree. It's a lot of motorcycles go there.
Yeah.
They have this big tree, and I think it's called the Tree of Shame. So it's this giant tree and with a bunch of motorcycle parts or shoes or messed up shit from all the motorcycles that have crashed or cars that have crashed.
Yeah.
They take it and they hang it on the tree.
Oh my God.
And it's amazing.
The tree has medals.
The tree has medals. One of the days, the lunch stop was in an abandoned jail in Tennessee.
Okay.
I think that was at where we ate lunch after the Tail or after the Devil's Triangle, one of them. It's like mountains on both sides. It comes down, and there's abandoned jail, and that's where you eat. They turn it into a restaurant.
That's crazy.
It's so good.
So it is a restaurant, or they turn it into an event just for that?
It's a restaurant now.
Oh, it is a restaurant now.
There
That's
is
crazy.
another building that is another jail that they do tours in.
Yeah.
But that building was just a restaurant.
That's awesome. So cars aside, these are now all the extracurriculars that you're experiencing on this trip that they've set up and everything.
Yeah. At the end of the Nashville part, everybody was out. Everybody was hanging out, having a good time.
Nashville's a good time in general. So, pulling up 125 cars plus, you got to figure there's at least 125 people, not including their
navigators.
Navigators and stuff like that.
And then people are out. Some of these dudes are out 3 a.m. They wake up at 7. They look like they want to die, chug a Red Bull, and they're back on the road. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
Some of these dudes that are just amazing. Not to discredit. There's also women that are drivers and having a good time too. And there's I'm sure a ton of women that are gonna destroy me on the racetrack this time too.
They prep for this all year.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
This is so the training they do is the equivalent to the Rocky series, leading up to the fights with Apollo and everybody.
Drago. So they moved it to one of the other stops was Charlotte the first year that I did it, which I had never been to Charlotte before. A lot of these towns I've never been to before.
Well, that's the thing on this one. I'm knocking out. Vegas is the only place that I've been to.
Okay, you never been to Denver?
Never.
Denver's awesome.
That's
it's beautiful.
I've got some friends out in Denver, and I actually told them, they're like, "Oh my God, let us know."
Ever to move, I'd move to Denver.
Really?
It's that pretty. Yeah.
Wow.
And everybody's there so nice, probably because they're high all the time. But but
it's not just clouds.
Yeah. So I'm in my GTR with all these other cars. I'm having a great time. We did the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It was kind of weird because it was so cloudy. Oh, before I get into this, there was a car that did wreck on this one.
Okay.
He had it for a week. It was an Audi R8. Slid. It was like the first day.
Yeah.
Slid, totaled it. It hit a 911 that was also there. 911 was still able to drive. That night in the parking garage, they kind of hammered parts of the 911 body so that the doors would open and close.
Yeah.
And then they just put little Band-Aids on it that said, ouch. So like that gives you an idea of how the mentality is.
Yep.
Like that sucks, but we're still going to have a good time. We're still going to make sure everybody's having a good time. The Audi R8 guy, I never saw him again.
Yeah.
He was okay, but he totaled the car.
Yeah.
He only had it for a week. It sucks.
That does suck.
So anyways, cut to, Charlotte. We were just kind of hanging out. We heard a bunch of, you're going to hear stories from everybody, their rally day is going to be completely different than your rally day. And then you're just shooting the shit. You're trading your stories. You're having a drink, cigar, or whatever you may be doing.
Yeah.
You're just trading.
You got to have a cigar on the trip.
Bring them.
I'm going to. I'm going to, dude. Yes.
And then you just hang out. I mean, it's hard to describe. It's just an atmosphere that encourages you to get out of your comfort zone, talk to people that you never thought you'd be talking to, and then kind of going from there.
And you still stay connected with these people via text, via Facebook, via...
There's a secret group that I'm going to invite you to. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to invite you to it. It's only for people. Yeah, it's only for people that have done it, or maybe that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. we have a secret handshake, and so the final day was
This should be a video podcast.
Yeah.
The secret. We don't.
yeah, there was a final like 100 miles or something to the Charlotte Shriners Children's Hospital.
Okay.
And the cars all park up around the hospital, and all the kids, we actually do a parade for the kids. You parade your car around. They're all sitting out in front of the hospital cheering you on.
They got to love it.
And then you drive through, you park your car. And I believe they did it this year, but I can't be positive because of COVID, and it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I'll describe it like this.
Yeah.
When you go to a car show around here, everybody's like, hands off. Don't touch shit.
Yep.
Don't get in my car.
Don't even look at it.
Don't even look at it. Don't even enjoy it. At this car show, windows are down, doors are open. Every single kid can get in your car. That's the point of it.
That's the mentality of everybody here.
Everybody's
Too.
like, get in. And so if you've ever been, you've never been to a car show around here with me, but I have a car that you don't see.
Yep.
And when I see people looking at it and having questions, I'll go talk to them. I'll open the door and I tell them to get in.
So elaborate. What kind of car do you have?
I have an Aston Martin, a 2019 Aston Martin Vantage.
Okay.
Using 500 and some odd horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and a quarter mile in mid 11s.
And so far since you've had it, what have you done to it?
I have deleted the secondary cats and put a bigger exhaust on it.
Okay.
So it's loud, it crackles. It can be louder, but it involves deleting all of the cats. And for those listening that don't live in Lake and Porter counties, we have these things called emissions here. And if I were to delete those, I would fail every time.
Yes. So I will tell you this. When you first got it, I really liked the GTR. But when you ended up getting that, I was like, oh my God, this thing is unbelievable. It was almost like that, like a silver purplish, like grayish. It was like just the color of it. And the interior's purple.
The interior is purple. You listed about 6 colors. But,
Yes, yeah.
So the exterior was dark gray. It's called Hammerhead Gray.
Yeah, Hammerhead Gray, yes.
Hammerhead Gray. And the interior is purple. It's like a really dark purple that almost looks black. And you wouldn't really know it's purple until it has the light shown on it.
Yep.
And then it has red racing stripes on the seats.
Mm-hmm.
Leather everywhere. There's leather on the dashboard, the steering wheel. It has carbon fiber in the center. It has carbon fiber badges. Would you like to take a guess on how much those cost?
$3.50 eaten Cheeto?
A little bit more.
Full Cheeto.
Yes.
I
did not. I actually bought this car secondhand, so I did not pay for these.
Yes.
They were $2,000.
Oh my goodness.
For 2 emblems.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
I would never ever check that box.
But
I couldn't do it.
If somebody else checked that box and you're inheriting it,
that's okay.
I will inherit their stupid spending.
And so it was a little different.
I will not be paying a surplus. Now, on top of that, you also had it wrapped.
I had it wrapped into Golf livery, which if you don't know what that is, back in the 60s, there was a GT40 that had the Golf racing livery. And it's still a popular livery in F1 now, but the cars are orange, which I just got into F1, and I think you should too. It's pretty cool. I'll get into that after this podcast.
Yes.
But it's a blue. My car is now almost like a powder blue with an orange racing stripe down the middle of it. It has my rally number 47 on the front and the sides and big gumball, a big 8-ball kind of circle. And then it has stickers on the outside of it that are sponsors for the rally.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I was bummed when you said you were gonna wrap it, and then you showed me the rally designed your wrap.
So I gave them what I wanted it to look like.
Yes.
I found a picture of it online, and I said, this is kind of what I want to do. These are the colors I want. And I sent them, the graphic idea. Mm-hmm. They sent me a proof back, which is a front and side and top and back of my car.
That was the picture that I saw that I was like, okay, I still like the stock color.
Yeah. And so then I found my local shop, which is Driver's Gallery.
Yep. They're in Valpo.
Valpo. And I was like, hey, can you guys wrap? If once I get it all approved, they're going to ship it to you. You guys wrap it. And they're like, yeah, no problem. That sounds like a really cool project. Mm-hmm. They knocked it out of the park. So they wrapped it in the blue and the orange. Then all the rally graphics came. They put all those on.
Yep.
And now it's set and ready to rally.
Well, the crazy thing is, like I said, at first I was just like, man, why would you want to cover up that paint color? Then when you're like, hey, dude, can you take me to go pick this up? It's done. And then I saw it in person. I was like, oh, now I understand. Like, because I didn't think that there was a way to top that color. And that wrap just, not only do you not see that car around, but now it's almost like a one of a kind because it's eye catching. Well, Cam, for example, he's like, hey, I saw Kris in Crown Point.
People will, they'll text me like, hey, I saw you in so-and-so. I'll be like, are you sure? Could be anybody. Like,
there's just so many of them.
There's just so many. Like, you never know. There's not too many blue and orange cars running around, but I'm blown away. Like, anytime I walk into my garage, I'm blown away with how good it looked, how good it turned out. Justin Brower runs Epic Wraps out in Minnesota. Yeah, he's one of the main rally guys as well.
Okay.
And they provided all the graphics. The graphics are top notch.
Yep.
And he actually, I believe, I don't know if this is true, I believe that he kind of catapulted the rally into opening a wrap business because he owns a wrap business out in Epic Wraps. So it kind of gives you an idea of where you can go, like with your networking. Yeah.
So Crown Rally actually has a wrapping business now.
Well, it's separate. It's Epic Wraps. That's who. Does it.
So it is okay. Yeah.
And so it's not actually Crown Rally. It's Epic Wraps, and they do an incredible job. I follow them on Instagram, and they did they cut out all the graphics from my car for Crown Rally. So, so that's where you get all the graphics if you sign up. That's where they come from, and then they kind of ship them to your local installer to install them. You can also ship your car out there and have a full wrap done. I mean, they do everything. Yeah, they do incredible work.
It sounds like they'll custom it to whatever's more convenient for you.
Yeah, they'll do it. So again, going back to they think of everything. When I was ready to get my graphics installed in the GTR, they're like, "Where do you want to do it? We have this place. They're like 20 miles from your house. Just tell us what works for you. We'll get it scheduled."
So they already have a network of. That's insane.
Yeah, and if you can't get there, the day before the rally, you show up, or the morning of, and they'll slap those graphics on for you that day.
Wow.
That's how good they are.
Okay, so with the rally that you did last year, you said there's people that drive to the rally when it's not local. Yeah. Or even when it's not local, they drive to the rally. But then there's people that ship their vehicles.
Yep. So last year I shipped my car.
You shipped your car. But then obviously the South, which starts in Chicago, you drove that one.
Yeah. So last year when I did West, I still had the GTR. I shipped it out there, shipped it from my house to Denver, picked it up, got my graphics installed there, and then did the whole rally and then shipped it back.
Because your GTR was like that dark red and the graphics were silver, right?
They were chrome.
Chrome. Okay, chrome. Yeah, that's right.
And so that's when we did the Bonneville Salt Flats. That's when we did Vegas for the first time. Yeah. That's when we did Beaver Creek is actually where we're going this year. We stayed there last year, and it's such an amazing resort.
That was a crazy hotel.
That was a crazy hotel.
Yeah.
That was there's mountains on every single side of you, more trees than you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. And then you eat outside. At least last year we did. We ate outside. Yep. And then Salt Lake City was after that. I've never been to Salt Lake City, and I kind of hate Salt Lake City because I was, a Jordan fan. And back in the finals, we had to show them what's what. But Salt Lake City was incredible. It was really weird. You almost feel weird when you're there because it's so dry. Yeah. It's like a weird, when you go to Arizona, they're like, oh, it's dry heat. Yeah. But Salt Lake City was so bright. The mountains didn't even look like mountains. They have like a weird color to them out there. Yeah. And it was just so bizarre. It was like I can't even describe it. It was so bright, so dry. It wasn't hot. It was just dry. Yeah. And it was very cool. Everything was like clean and open. It wasn't a huge city. Yeah. But it's a really cool city.
Air clean.
Yeah, very clean. So we kind of joked anytime we would go on these rallies, our sinuses would act up because we're not used to clean air. Yeah. And so people were like, "You got COVID?" I'm like, "No, man. My lungs are not used to this.
I need mill chemicals."
Yeah. I live next to, factories in Indiana. Yeah. And so I'm like, I have a sore throat every morning. They're like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man. I'm just not used to this. My body is not used to having clean pathways. It's not." Yeah. But that was that West one was the one we did last year. That was that was incredible. I mean, it was a really, really well done event. Yeah. At the Denver launch, which you're going to get to experience, is otherworldly. That's how I'm going to describe it.
Really?
It's in the center of the town.
Is that the best launch you've been to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the Chicago launch last year was not as good as the Denver launch.
Now, you said, too, at the launches, they like light off like little bottle rockets. Some are duds and some are not, to kind of like get everybody excited and this, that. There's no like fireworks. They kind of go, okay, never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because it's a huge thing, bottle rockets, little duds and
No, we got cars that do that. Yeah. So it's in the center of the city.
Yeah.
Okay. It's in front of like I don't know if it's the Capitol building, but it's a huge building.
Okay.
It's all blocked off. Cars are pulling in. The entire city's like out there.
Yeah.
People are just hanging out, checking out the cars. And everybody's lighting off those the smoke grenades. Yeah. And everybody, they give you the cue, get back to your cars. 3, 2, 1, start your engines. Everybody starts their engines. And then, the pathway's open and they're funneling you out. The cops are there. They got everything blocked off. And you're kind of, all right, get out of our city.
Yeah.
It's all blocked off so we can have a good exit onto the highway.
So, and they have people directing everything this entire time.
Yep. They have, what do they call them? The Hornets. Mm-hmm. You'll see them. All the volunteers are in yellow and black shirts. Yellow shirts with black writing, and they're called the Hornets. And they tell you where you're going. They're always where you get. They're always ready to help. They're always at the start, at the finish, at lunch stops, dinner stops. They're always there, ready to help. Again, everything's planned to a T.
Yeah.
So you get back to the launch at Denver. You're going to the road, and then you're free. You're free to enjoy your passion. So there was 100, I think, I don't know, there's some 100 and some odd cars.
Okay.
At West last year. At that time, it was, you might be with 4 or 5 cars. You might be with 20. You might be with, 30 cars. A good number is probably about 5.
Yeah.
Because then you guys can kind of, have a healthy kind of just drive. They do take safety very, very seriously. Mm-hmm. They do not encourage, reckless driving. They do not encourage passing on double yellows, endangering other people. People have been kicked off because they do that stuff. You
told me that before, where like they don't mess around. Like they want you to have a good time, but they also don't want to have issues.
Yeah, because they want to keep this going. Yeah. And if you're not respectful to the other people on the road, if you're not respectful to other people, you're gone.
Well, because the thing is, it's just like anything in life. It takes the one person to ruin it for everybody. And this isn't just a bunch of people getting together and having fun. It's also for the bigger picture. You guys are raising the money and this and that. So this is an event that should be going on for a long time. So it's like, any bad apples, get rid of them now.
I think this is 13, 14.
Yeah.
And so they just, I was at those meetings. They have a driver's meeting every single morning.
Yeah.
And I've been at them when somebody gets tossed off. They're like, and they take it serious. You can tell in their voices that they are angry, and they're like, we had to kick somebody off. They were doing the wrong thing. We will not hesitate to kick anybody off. We'll give you your money back and tell you and kick you out. So, they're serious about it. And I love that about it. Cause when we're talking at dinner, we're like, hey, do you guys have any issues with anybody? And they're like, no, cause at the end of the day, you want to have a good time. You want to finish in one piece. You want to make sure that this thing can continue. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't, if you're not in that mindset, go home. Like this isn't for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like it keeps the ones that aren't mature, Yeah.
And it's not like it's not $25,000 each time, but it's a lot of money each time. And to do that, it's not a license to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're paying for all the people that are doing it. You're paying for all the helpers. You're paying for the lunch stops, the dinner stops, the hotel rooms, the events. We do track days in the middle of these things. We do track days at the end of these things. You have to take it serious.
There's hundreds. I feel like between the cops, between the volunteers, between the servers, the track places. There's
permits.
Hundreds. Yeah, permits. There's hundreds upon hundreds of people that are involved in this.
Yeah. And each one is meticulously planned out.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do this, that, this, that. You have to be here at this time. You have to be there at this time. It's such a event.
Yeah.
You have to be ready.
Okay, so I want to end on a couple things. So let's go and do the breakdown of exactly what is what we can expect from the West, the stops, where we're starting, where we're launching, where we're finishing, and then I want to end with what are your top 5 cars that you've seen there that you're just like, wow, I love this thing, and then we got to end on a good story because I know you probably got one from some of the events. so let's break it down. So we go out there. We're flying out there the 14th.
Yeah, we're flying out there, and we're going to be doing it's almost like a dinner.
Yeah.
In Denver that night. If it's at the same place it was last time, it's a very nice venue. You can actually see the Broncos stadium. It's almost like I'm a huge Broncos fan, so being able to kind of get there, it's a very cool venue, and you can look at the Denver Broncos stadium.
And we can actually see the spot where the GOAT played, Jay Cutler.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
So Denver. So 14th is kind of like the everybody meets everybody. Hey, how are you? You know, just social. You know,
social. Everybody, they kind of go over awards. You know, who raised this much money for a rally for a cause.
Yeah.
And they just have like a good night. It's just a good night.
So then the 15th is when is when the launch party basically is.
Launch is the 15th, yeah.
So 15th is from Denver, and then Beaver Creek is still in Colorado as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We will stop middle of the day, that one.
Okay.
Well, actually, we stop in all of them, but we stop in my phone is so bad, I can't even load it. We stop for a lunch stop in Blackstone Rivers Ranch. I've never been there.
Really? Okay. Actually, I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm going to share some videos too of some of the other YouTube links and stuff like that. So 7:30 to 9:30 is where everybody kind of gathers together. And just looking at some of these pictures, I know this is kind of an audio podcast, you can't really see, but some of these wraps are incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I don't want to tell too much.
Cool. So we can do, okay, so we'll say where we start.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody either because I want to bring them back because you know as soon as we get back we have to record the episode 2. So at the end of this it'll be to be continued.
Yeah. So I mean Beaver Creek is the place I was talking about where it's outdoor. It's kind of like almost like just mountains on both sides.
Yes.
It's just you're out in the wilderness almost.
Yep.
It's such a nice place to be. I've never been to Santa Fe, so we're going to be finishing day 2 in Santa Fe. Never been there.
Okay, neither have I. I've never been either.
So I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of more kind of deserty roads out that way. And New Mexico?
Probably flat.
Yeah.
Probably very flat.
I've driven from Las Vegas to Scottsdale, which is where we're going to be going. And that was pretty flat. So kind of a funny story from Las Vegas to Scottsdale. If you've never been, there is a stop, a huge gas station, the biggest gas station you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
And it's called the last stop. Okay. And so we're driving. I'm like, I should probably stop and get gas. Like it's the last stop.
Yeah.
And who knows when we'll see another one.
Yep.
And so I get gas. There's UFO like memorabilia everywhere. There's aliens everywhere.
Yeah.
And get back in the car, start driving. Not 10 minutes later, there's like 20 more gas stations. Like, you lying bitches.
You bastards.
Yeah, you lying sons of bitches.
Marketing 101.
Yeah. So then we go from Santa Fe to Scottsdale, and I'm very excited about that because I have family in Scottsdale.
Yep.
My 93-year-old grandfather.
And they haven't seen your new car.
They have not seen my new car.
And have you stopped the last West Coast one? You stopped in Scottsdale, right?
I stopped in Scottsdale, visited with my family, and that's where the end point was. Well, the end point was Las Vegas, and then I took another day from Las Vegas to Scottsdale.
So Scottsdale wasn't a stop on this, and it just so happens to be a stop here. Yes. So not only do they get a chance to see you, but they get a chance to experience it too.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Last year, it looks like they were moving Salt Lake City and the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Okay.
The Bonneville Salt Flats were incredible, and I can tell that story in a little bit. But we're going to Scottsdale, and then we have a dinner stop, which I looked up the venue. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we're starting in Scottsdale the morning of the 18th. I'm hoping that they do a kind of cars and coffee type deal, just so my family can come out and say
Yeah.
hi and kind of get the experience. If not, at the very least, they get to wave at me when I go by, and then we kind of drive off to Las Vegas.
FYI, I'm going to try to bribe your grandfather so he can be that guy with the arm out and the middle finger.
Yeah, he would do it too. He's the OG, man.
OG.
He's a badass. And we're on Las Vegas. There's also a track day in one of these.
Okay.
And there's a track day at the end.
That's awesome. Now, track day, like you're actually going like loop track or quarter-mile track?
No, it's a road course.
Okay, awesome.
And there's 3 groups. There's a group of beginner where you're going like 60 miles an hour just to get a feel for it.
Yeah.
There's intermediate where you're going as fast as you want. And then there's expert, you're going as fast as you want, but you might be pushed too hard.
Yeah, yes.
I'm usually in that middle group.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go with either group because nobody's out there being a jerk.
Yeah.
But you just wave people by.
Yeah.
Get your helmet. You're having a good time. But there's one in the middle, and then there's one in Las Vegas, which the Las Vegas one that we're doing is like a resort. It's actually where I believe Chevy does all their Corvette testing, because when you go there, there's a bunch of Corvettes just there. Or maybe it's not testing, but it's a Corvette like experience.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a very, very cool track. It's like you're in the desert and then this track appears. And there's like a little like lake there, or like pond. And then you can kind of sit there. You can have like lunch. You can do there's catering. There's like so many things that you can do. But I couldn't do it last year because my GTR out there is all 91 octane. And my car was tuned for 93. And so it through a code, I lost all power.
That's
and so
crazy.
I had most of my power, but not all of it. I'm like, I am not driving on this
That couldn't have happened to just you. Did that happen to other people?
There was some other McLarens that were having issues.
Yeah.
That were throwing codes and running like crap because they didn't have high enough octane fuel.
Mm-hmm.
When we were out there, I was like, I'm not getting on this racetrack in my car and blowing it up when I have to drive to Scottsdale like the next day. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I rode with somebody else. He had an Audi R8. That was a good time. We were on this straightaway in this it's called a super fast. It's a Ferrari. Blows by us.
Yeah.
The loudest car I've ever heard.
While you're in the
while we're flying down the straightaway, it shoots by. It sounds like an F1 car. It is so loud. It sounded so good.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just passed, kept right on going. But it was like, you're driving with the windows down, you're hearing all these cars at full throttle. It's incredible.
That's insane. So that's in Vegas. So when we pull up in Vegas, or in the past, based off past experience, is it like you guys drive down the strip? Is it like arriving in Vegas is more like a at your leisure type thing. Oh, okay.
Because when you roll into the finish point every night, you're usually not in a huge group. So that's just as cars pull in.
Okay.
So when you pull into Vegas, you might be running into a couple other cars.
Yeah.
But you're just going to be I think the route it took us last year was down the strip. Mm-hmm. So you're down the strip and people are, waving and
I'm sure they're going to love it.
Yeah. And then you pull into the hotel and you're in, a private part of the parking garage. And it's just, and then you just have a good time. And trust me, a lot of people did.
Yeah, I bet. So we'll save those. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type of thing.
Oh yeah.
So, out of all the rallies that you've been on, top 5 cars from your least, or we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 being like there's nothing better than this one.
Okay. Let me think a little bit. I already know the top 3.
Okay, then let's cut the list to 3.
Right, let's do the top 3. 1, so this is going to be 3, is going to be, man, let me think about it. Now I gotta adjust them in my head. All right, we're gonna do number 1. We'll do number 1. Is the GT40s from the first time I did, the 60s reproductions. They were incredible. They sounded incredible. It was something I never thought I would ever see. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Number 2, it's actually a guy who lives around here. His name is Brandon Tang. He has a 911 GT2 RS.
The pink one.
pink one.
Ah, that's sharp. You showed me that one.
Yeah, it's called the Pink Pig.
Yeah.
It was an old racing livery. It has little dots on it, like it's a pig cut up, and it has all the locations on Crown Rally on top of it, to where it's showing you where each part of the pig's going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it sounds weird when I describe it. When you see the picture of it,
it makes sense.
It makes sense. And that was probably my second favorite.
And that one's a fast one.
That is a fast one.
Yeah.
It's super fast.
Yeah.
Super duper fast. I can probably name all 5. And so number 3 would be McLaren 720S.
Okay.
It's so hard to describe. The cockpit is all glass. So no matter where you're looking, it's glass and you can see out of it.
Yeah.
So the pillars that go on the back, it's glass. You can see through. The doors open like wings.
Yeah.
It looks like a spaceship. It's nothing you've really ever seen.
Yeah.
It's an amazing piece of machinery.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then let's see. I had it in my head, and then it pops out of my head. Let's see.
That McLaren, do you think it'll be there on this one?
There'll probably be a couple 720Ss. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones we saw last year were blue and green. It's like a hyper green.
Yeah.
Those we're also having a couple problems, just from fuel.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they were incredible. So then the super fast that I was telling you about, that Ferrari, I never thought I'd see one of those.
Yeah.
That was on there. And then
lightning fast too.
Lightning fast.
Yeah.
And then those are probably my top 4. I don't know. The top 5 is held for. There's so many other cars, but I think the 5th one I saw, it was a wrap. It was actually a Mustang GT350.
Yep.
It's white, and it has multicolored handprints all over it, and each one of the handprints is one of the children from the Shriners Children's Hospital.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And that's a wrap probably that stays on there.
Yep. And so I'm actually doing an event on Sunday for the Rally for a Cause Foundation that is at the Shriners Children's Hospital in Chicago.
Okay.
So if you have nothing to do,
yes,
you can pop out there and see a bunch of us out there. I'm riding up there with a couple other Crown guys that are around here.
Yeah.
And that car I'm thinking is going to be there, but it's awesome. You go up to the car, it's all like paint, like they stuck their hand in paint, scan their hand, and it has their name on it. It's hundreds of them on this car.
That is so cool.
And he's an excellent driver too.
Yeah,
he's an excellent driver.
So local guy too, then, or somewhat local.
He was on Crown Rally South. I don't know where he lives. I actually didn't talk to him. I just saw him drive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would assume he's going to be there because the picture of the event has that car on there.
Yeah.
I assume he's going to be there, but I actually never spoke with him before.
So what's crazy is how big and how intricate and how awesome these things are. Eventually, one day you would think they have to attract some type of like celebrities or some type of bigger
there's been YouTubers on it.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman that was on Savage Garage. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Mm-hmm. I forget his name because I've never spoken with him. I actually did not know about him until he unfortunately passed a month or 2 ago. And he was a member of this Savage Garage YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I had never heard of him. And he actually invented some type of credit card machine. He was worth millions.
That's insane.
And he had done Crown Rally. I think it was a year that I was not there.
Yeah.
But apparently really well loved, really well liked guy. And unfortunately passed away. But there's been him. I know they're trying to get other kind of influencers or YouTubers on there. As far as celebrities, I'm not sure.
Look, that's the name of the game now, man.
Influencers are a huge business.
Yeah, it absolutely is. They got. I mean, you're seeing it now. I mean, we were talking about this the other day, and just the reach of YouTube. I mean, some of these people have more of a reach than celebrities.
Yeah,
it's
incredible.
Yep, the millions of followers. So, with that said, I'm telling you right now, I can't wait for it. I think when we get back. I know when we get back, we're going to have one hell of an episode.
Yeah. I know you asked for a story. I got 2 stories.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
The first story was when I took you for a drive the other day.
Can we just leave this out, please?
So I'm like, Ed, we need to take a drive because I need to know that I can trust you to handle it because I'm going to drive not dangerously, but I'm going to drive safe.
Yeah.
But I'm going to drive fast.
Yeah.
And so I took him for a drive and we turned like this little bend, and I said, "Here we go," and I kind of floored it, and all he said was, "I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this." And I had to let off, and I was like, "Oh my God, dude! Like, are you gonna be okay?" Like, he's like, "I'm sure I'm gonna be okay."
So just to preface this, though, if you haven't ever taken a drive, especially in the passenger seat in a supercar, that's an experience in itself. And I'm not talking about like the, a souped up Civic or a suit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm not even talking about just a regular Mustang GT. I'm talking about like a supercar. Your car sits low to the ground, and your car, like, it takes off.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I will give you credit though. The other drive I took you on.
Yeah.
You were in the middle of a you were in the middle of a story, and I floored it, and you immediately shut up, and we were like, and then, but then I floored it, and you were okay. You didn't say anything. You're like, okay, I was good with that.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you stopped talking, and he's like, well, I'm okay. So I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah,
I think you're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
I will take care of you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything, crazy.
Yeah.
So,
doesn't it have wings and like it actually takes off in flight and everything like that too?
Yeah, there has to be a cliff.
Yeah. Thelma and Louise, shit.
Yeah, don't worry about that. The other story, there's so many, but this one is just kind of this is more of a camaraderie type story. Is last year on South, I had this car and we were driving, and one of the guys that has been doing it for a long time, his name's Frank. He was in an old Porsche 944, and we get the call on the thing. Hey, anybody got a jack? And I was like, I don't think I got a jack, but I'm going to pull over and make sure he's okay. So I stop. It's at this weird place, weird city. It was like the nexus of the universe. There were so many weird happenings. So we pull up. I'm like, man, I don't have it, but let's see what happens. Let's see what you need. We can get this thing back on the road.
Yeah.
Now Frank's retired military. He was a pilot, I believe.
Yeah.
Old race car driver. He knows his shit. He knows how to get stuff fixed. And he's like, we're going to get this thing fixed.
He's
like,
a MacGyver, dude.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're sitting there. He's like, I'm looking at the engine. The engine's like not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's like, he gets on and he can push the engine. It's moving.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's like, man, there's, something broke off. We need to do this. And so, his son was there. We park, he's like, I don't know what kind of bolt this is. I Google it. I find out what bolt it is. I'm like, there's a store right down the street. Go down the store, come back. We get the right bolt. Now we need jacks. We need all this stuff. He sends his son to the local Harbor Freight, gets jack stands, we were probably on the side of the road for 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
And we are working on this car. And
now, do you let everybody know on the chirp thing, like, hey, what's going on? Or
we're like, hey, we're working on this car. We'll be there at some point, and we're just working on this car, shooting shit. And at one point, his son left to go get something, and it's just me and Frank running to the car. And he's like, I'm really glad you're here. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And he's like, because if you weren't, I'd be worried about somebody coming and shooting me and stealing my car. I was like, thanks. I was not thinking about some dude just showing up and shooting me, but now that's all I'm going to think about. And
thanks,
so
Frank.
Yes, thanks, Frank. So we're sitting there, and like the weird things are happening. Like a car pulls up, somebody gets out with a backpack, wanders off into the distance in the darkness, never to be seen again. Car drives away. I'm like, what the hell? They're like, he didn't even walk. It was like he walked into a field. He didn't walk to a house. He just walked into the darkness and disappeared.
The Incredible Hulk music started playing.
It was like the end of Rambo. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So then another car pulls up, and we're in front of this, I think it was called Wilderness Junction or something. It was like a sporting goods store with like guns and stuff.
Yeah.
And they pull up. It's clearly shut down. I don't even know if this place was in business. It's it's nighttime. There's no open sign. It's clearly shut down. These people pull in. There's something off about them. They walk to the door and they're like, oh, I can't believe it. And I was like, hey, yeah, they've been closed for a while. And he's like, okay. He gets back to his car, drives off, never to be seen again. I'm like, what the hell where are we? And then like people just walk by. If I had to describe it, I can't even describe it because it was so weird.
Yeah.
And then we were like almost done, and a car full of dudes pull up, And I was like, this is it. This is where we get shot.
Yeah, they're taking our vehicles.
And he's like, do you need any help? And Frank's like, nah, we got it. And he's like, okay. And he drives off. I mean, we had this thing up on jack stands. On one side, we had it on a rock on a jack stand. We're under it. This dude gets it fixed with ratchet straps. He has a ratchet strap to the top of the engine to the bottom, ratchet strapped it up into place, and finished the rally with the ratchet straps.
Finished the entire rally.
The entire rally. And that was like day 2. So we had like 3 more days.
Oh my God.
And we did a drive after the rally, and he still had it. And I keep in contact with him. I always give him shit on Facebook about it.
What the hell happened? Did he?
It was called an AC compressor.
Okay.
It was like towards the bottom of the front of the engine, and it was not. The bolt worked its way out.
Yeah.
And so it came disconnected, and so we had to jack it up, put a new bolt in, ratchet strap it up, and then finish the rally that way. And he did. And then he kept it that way for a long time. He's like, yeah, it's still ratchet strapped together.
That's hilarious. Now, what year was that?
That was last year.
No. What year was his car? Sorry.
Oh, I think it's like an 80s.
Oh, okay. So this old school. This is an old school.
And he had
car.
modified it. Like, he does all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of cars that are on there that are supercars, and there's cars that have been just modified. There's like an old VW that does it. Not a Beetle, but it's like probably, I think it's a Golf, but it's like not like a recent Golf. Yeah.
Okay. What's somebody's like, hey, I want to do Crown Rally.
Yeah.
What's the requirement?
You have to submit for an invite. It's invite only.
Okay.
If you've done it before, you automatically get an invite.
Your grandfather did.
Yeah, you're kind of grandfathered in. But if you're new, you have to put like you're going to request an invitation. Mm-hmm. Each one's a couple grand.
Yeah.
Like $5,000 or so.
Yeah.
And the south one is the longest. I personally think it's the best just because there's a lot more camaraderie on it. I've never been on north, but I'm doing north for the first time this year.
Yep. So, and for to keep the record straight, south is the one that launches from Chicago.
Correct. Chicago to Atlanta.
Because I always got that one confused.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's the Midwest one. You're like, okay, Ed, the Midwest doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's north, south, west.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing all 3 this year. Very excited. I've never done north. I think it's going to be a good time. From what I've heard, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. When is north?
North is in August.
Okay, so which is a good time considering that it gets cold pretty quick up there.
Yeah.
So you're still getting it in summer.
We were a little worried in October going south. We thought it might be a little chilly.
Yeah.
Amazing weather.
Yeah.
Everything the leaves are changing. You're going south, so
Yeah.
it gets hot. It's still hot down there. This one is actually finishing in Atlanta this year, which I'm super excited about because I got friends down there that I haven't seen in a bit.
Yeah.
So I get to go down there. We're going on Road Atlanta, I believe, racetrack down there. So that's another thing. We're hitting these racetracks that are really well known. Yeah. And you're taking your car on them, having a great time. And it's tracks that who knows if I'd ever get on these tracks otherwise. Yeah. Probably not. They don't just accept walk-ons, Yeah. No, it's like Autobahn in Chicago, outside of Chicago, is like a resort. Like it's a very expensive, like high-class resort. And we were there for, a track day, a closed down track day of just us. That's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome. Are you going to go on the track with me? Sure. You say that now. Yeah. You say that now. Sure. Sure. And then I get there and I'm like, I'm like, I'm going to grab some drone footage. So hey, you have fun. You have fun on that. You have fun. So no, so that's cool. So when you submit for something to be on participate in Crown, what are they looking for? I have no idea. Are they looking for specific horsepower? Are they looking for a specific vehicle? Are they looking? Because the VW. I think he's been doing it forever. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know if he's been grandfathered. I really don't know what the process is. Yeah. I know that there's cars, all types of cars. I know there's all walks of life. Yep. I think if you submit and you have just the right attitude, if you're the right kind of person that can see the benefit, this is something you really want to do. Yeah. And you're passionate about it, I think you're going to be just fine. That's so cool. But it's just, I don't remember, because I've that was 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. I don't remember if there was like, hey, fill out this paragraph. I remember, I think there was a spot like what kind of car you have. Yeah. I mean, you're going to want something that you can keep up with.
It's a Crown Rally Tinder, like swipe left or swipe right.
Yeah, you don't want to show up in something that you're not going to have a good time in. Like you don't want to show up in a Ford Transit and then be left behind for days. You know.
Yeah.
One thing that I forgot to mention is a lot of these cars, they do not have storage, right? Like a Lamborghini is not going to fit a suitcase.
Two people,
and it doesn't even have a cup holder. So, they actually have vans that follow you. They put all of your stuff in there, and they have it ready in your room.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I'm telling you, man, they do an amazing job.
That's a detail I would have never thought of.
No.
You know, the fact that
man, they think of everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, and the van is nitrous powered. And,
I don't know. It's
V12s.
Yeah, there's a couple. You'll see. Like I don't know if he's going to be there, but there was an Audi R8 with a roof rack with a roof storage unit.
Yeah,
pretty much. That was pretty cool looking.
Yeah,
you'll see a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see some of the the McLaren that you were telling me about. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait. I've always been a huge Audi fan. I like that. And I think I've told you this 1,000 times. I'm a huge Mustang fan, specifically like the 500s, the 350s, the Shelbys, and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see some of those, some of them in person. And so I got the GoPro ready, got extra batteries. We're gonna record the hell out of it.
And I mean, the Aston is a small car, but it has a lot of storage. So I mean, we're gonna be
it's surprising.
Yeah, we'll be able to put my racing helmet in there.
Yep.
Both our backpacks.
Yep.
And stuff. And I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, that's surprising. So, and the drone's going to fit there too. Yeah. So it's easy stuff, you know. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be awesome. So, what we'll do is we'll get this thing published. We'll put some links to some of the Crown Rally videos and so on and so forth. And I can't wait to come back and shoot the second episode of this to kind of let everybody know the experience. So, good call on not kind of letting everybody know and letting the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, right away. I was more worried. Like I didn't want to step on any toes. With people at Crown because while I do love Crown, I'm not like an organizer of it. I don't want to spoil their surprise.
Oh yeah,
for sure. They put so much time into it. I just want to experience it just like everybody else. I think it's gonna be a great time. Yep,
this is gonna be awesome. So with that said, keep an eye out on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook page, all that stuff. We'll keep updates. We'll check in, so on and so forth. And we will be back then when we get back to shoot the second, the follow-up episode to kind of explain what we did and the shenanigans that happened in
that's a good word for it.
Crown West. So with that said, hey, thanks everyone. Chris, thank you for being on the podcast. This is good stuff, and I can't wait to talk about the other one. So that said, we will talk to you guys soon. Later.